Happy Monday, guys! I am in my beach hat and my flowery shirt because today is Hawaii Day for Brushwork School. So, if you have anything beachy or summery that you want to put on and you can send me a picture of it, I would love to see it and I'll upload it to our Brushwork site. So get your Hawaii on with me today and wear something fun and summery, okay? All right, guys. Now, since it's kind of beach Hawaii Day, I have a beach joke for you, okay? What kind of tree can you hold in your hand? Give up? A palm tree. Get it? You hold it, palm? Yeah, okay. Anyway, so guys, let's go ahead and get started with our lessons today, all right? We're gonna jump right into math. Remember that you need your Go Math book, your flimsy book, and your hardback reader. And if you have a dry erase board, great. If not, pencil and paper will work too, okay? All right, guys, when you get your Go Math book ready, I would like for you to be on page 672, 672, okay? Last week, we learned about two different types of graphs and charts. Do you remember what they were called? I think I heard somebody say it. Oh, picto or a picture graph, and a tally chart. Now we're going to add on to that this week. Today we are going to learn about a bar graph, okay? Picture graphs used pictures because we had smiley faces and some circles and we had books and things like that last week. Tally charts uses the tallies to represent information. And today on page 672, you're going to have these colorful looking bars. And that's why they call it a bar graph, okay? Now, we're going to be looking on page 672, and then I'm going to let you do 673 on your own, okay? It's kind of the same thing that we've been doing, guys, except for they're putting information a little different. They're not using pictures this time, okay? So let's look up at the top. It says children playing games. We always want to look at the title of our chart, right? Because it lets us know what's going on, what's this chart all about. All right? We always want to look on the side of the chart because that tells us who or what is in it. So this time we have outdoor games: basketball, jump rope, soccer, and tag. And we always want to look at the bottom or what numbers that we're going by because that tells us how many is represented on our chart. So we have the title, we have the side telling us who or what it's about, and we have the numbers to tell us how many, okay? So these are the number of children who evidently like or enjoy playing those games, or they are playing those games. Okay, so if I look at basketball and I follow the green, it goes all the way down to the number 6. If I look at jump rope, it's colored in yellow and it goes to the number 3. See that? If I go to soccer and follow the blue line, it goes all the way down to the 8. And then last but not least, we have tag. It's the orange bar and it goes to the 5, okay? So let's look at another bar graph and answer some questions about it, okay? So first of all, we want to look at our graph. Remember, we want to look at the title, the side, and the bottom so we can get a clear picture of what it's all about, okay? So it looks like marbles in a bag. And it looks like on the side this time, there's numbers of marbles. So as you can see, a bar graph can go across your page or it can go up and down, right? It's still the same thing. So this gives me the number of marbles. And here are the colors we have. It looks like we have red, blue, green, and purple marbles, okay? So it looks like that many of each color are in a bag to me. So let's look over here. Number 1, how many green marbles are in the bag? Well, let me go to the green. I go up and over, and I'm at the 4. Excuse me, guys. Promise it's not the corona. It's allergies. Anyway, so the green comes up and over to the 4. So I'm going to put a 4 on the line to represent 4 green marbles. Okay, number 2. How many more? Okay, there's that phrase from last week. How many more? So does that tell me to add or subtract? Subtract. How many more or how many fewer always tells me to subtract. So we've got that in our brains, all right? How many more blue marbles than purple marbles are in the bag? Well, we've got blue. Looks like it goes to the 6. We've got purple. It goes to the 3. So I'm subtracting because I know that how many more tells me that. Well, I have 6, subtract 3. Well, I know that I can put 3 in my head, 4, 5, 6, and get it that way. So I have 3 more blue marbles than I do of the purple. Okay, last one on that page, guys. How many marbles are in the bag? Like all together. So I know that I have 2 red, 6 blue, 4 green, and 3 purple. So I need to see how many of all of them are. Well, I know that 2 plus 6, 6, 7, 8, that's 8, plus 4, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Put 12 in my head, 3 more. 13, 14, 15. So 15 marbles are in the bag. So I'm going to put 15 on the line. Okay, guys, this time you are going to do page 673 on your own. Now, we had one that went across our page and one that went up and down. This one is going to go across, so I want you to pay extra special attention. What's it about? Tell me what's on the bottom, what's on the side, so you can get a clear picture of what you're talking about, okay? So tomorrow, guys, we will check page 673 together, okay? Now, you can pause this video, get your math done, and I will be right here whenever you want to pause, okay? If not, just keep on trekking along with me. So I'm going to put Go Math to the side. And I'm going to get out my dry erase board and marker. You can get out your paper and pencil, whatever it is that you're using. Okay? Now, guys, today we are going to start with new spelling words, okay? And they're going to have a spelling pattern. Last week, we had that tricky Y, right? That Y on the end took the E's identity and said E, like baby and puppy. Now this week, we get to have a little fun. We're going to become pirates. Yes. So it's kind of cool that it's beach day because, you know, pirates, ocean, kind of goes together, right? Okay, so I want you to make your hook. You're the captain on the ship, Captain Hook. Comes first to my mind, okay? And I want you to say, arr, just like that. Yeah, best pirate voice that you've got. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Arr. We have our pirate arr sounds today. It's kind of fun to do, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So we have ark, dark. So you can even sound like a pirate when you say it. Arr, arm. I bet he wishes he had something else on the end of his arm other than a hook, right? Okay. R. P. Ark. F. Arm. It's pretty good to do, isn't it? So we have the pirate R's in each one of our words this week. Okay, so you can practice doing your pirate voices with the R in it. Okay, now we're going to put these in ABC order, practicing using our cursive writing, okay? So, first things first in the alphabet, I need to look for my A's. And I happen to have one, don't I, guys? So, arm. is going to be first. I'm going to circle it because I'm using it. And in my neatest cursive handwriting, I'm going to put arm. Okay, so we'll go on with the alphabet. A, B, C, D, D, dark. So I'm going to circle dark, and I'm going to write it on number 2. Okay. All right, A, B, C, D, E, F. Ooh, we're getting some right off the bat, aren't we today? Farm. So I'm going to circle that one. And I'm going to write farm on number 3. Again, guys, if I'm going too fast, just pause the video and catch up with me, okay? So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Park. Miss Scallywags. I don't even know what that is, but you know, I think that's what pirates say. Walk the plank with ye. All right, I got park. Okay, and last but not least, I have star. We didn't really have any that repeated today, did we? Star had the same initial letter. All right, guys, we have arm, dark, farm, park, and star. Love it. All right, guys. Now, again, if you need to have some extra time and pause this video, that's awesome. You can do that. Or you can keep going with me and get your flimsy book out. Flimsy. Okay? In our flimsy book today, guys, we just learned about our pirate R's, so we're going to do a little activity on that. It's on page 46. 46. So we're going to be doing 46 and 47 together today, okay? So get that out and get it ready, and then we're going to be filling in the blanks with some of our pirate R words, okay? So be looking for those and make sure that that's the one that fits, okay? So on page 46, it gives you the sentence with the blank, and then it gives you 3 options. So we're going to try to figure out and circle which option goes in the blank, okay? Number 1, D saw a bright blank in the sky. State, star, or sat. What did she see in the sky, guys? A star. Very good. So I'm going to circle that one. Okay, number 2. The dog in the yard started to bark, dark, or bank. What did the dog do? Bark. So we're going to circle that one. Number 3. The children played baseball at the part, paint, or park. Park. Almost done, guys. Halfway there. Well, a little over halfway. Or less. Yeah. Number 4. Mom put milk in her shopping charm, chair, or cart. Cart. Good job. The cows go into the barn, bean, or brain at night. I don't think the cows go into the brain at night. Well, I mean, unless you're counting cows instead of sheep, I guess that could be in your brain, right? It's kind of silly. So I think barn would probably be the best one. Number 6, Max is a blank boy. Max is a smack boy, smart boy, or start boy. I think smart. Never heard of a smack boy. Now, guys, it says write 2 sentences. Use words spelled with R. So, guys, if you would go ahead and make me 2 sentences. Try to do 7-Up if you can, but if not, that's okay. Just really try to work toward those 7-Up sentences and choose one of the words that we've circled, one for 7 and one for 8. And whenever you send a picture to me, I will check those for you, okay? Don't forget, whenever you start a sentence, you use a capital letter, and you always end with punctuation. Good job. Okay, guys. 47. Just flip right there, and we'll go straight on to our grammar. Okay, so for grammar this week, we're going to be working more with commas, okay? Now, let me get my handy-dandy board out again so I can show you what I mean. So, for example, it'll be Monday, April 20th. So, it's April 20th, 2020. How about that? 2020. That's awesome. All kinds of 20s going on there. Okay, guys. So, April 20th, 2020. Now, we have to have a comma whenever we use dates, guys, because let me show you something. If I don't put a comma to separate my date from my year, it looks like this says April 2020. I don't think that April has that many days in it. Do you? Okay. So, we have to put our comma separating our date from the year that we're in, because if not, we're making this ginormous number and people are going to get confused. So we don't want that. So this says now April 20th, 2020 or 2020. Now, let's do another one. Let's do a pretend one like for Friday. On Friday, I'm looking at my calendar, guys, April 24th. 2020. And without the comma, it looks like April 242,020. Can't have that, can you guys? You have got to separate those numbers, the day from the year, okay? So today in our flimsy book, that's exactly what we're doing. We're putting those commas where they belong so it can separate the date from the year so it doesn't look like just one big gobbledygook. Gobbledygook, that's a fun word to say. Gobbledygook number, okay? So let's take a look at page 47. And we're only going to put the commas with our pencils or whatever it is that you're using on here. We're not going to rewrite the sentences today, okay? So let's take a look at page 47. Number 1. Sally got her dog on February 12th, 2011. Do you know where I need to put my comma so I don't have a big long number, gobbledygook number? Yeah, you know you want to say it. Yes, guys. We're going to put it after the 12. Let me get my red so you can see it a little bit easier. And I'm going to put my little comma separating the 12 from the 2011. If not, it would be 122,011. Okay, number 2. Josh's cat was born on April 30th, 2010. Can you find where I need it? It's right, guys, right after that 30. Number 3. Miss Kane bought more fish food on January 1st, 2012. Can you figure out where I need it? Right after the 1 for the first. And they kind of put a space in between them, don't they, guys? Kind of remind us that we don't need to smush it together. Number 4. Miss Kane went on vacation. Ooh, I wonder if it was Hawaii. On July 12th, 2011. Right after the 12. Okay? Number 5. Carrie worked in the store until August 27th, 2012. Where do we put that comma? After the 27. Very good. Guys, big high five me if you got all of those right. Because you guys are amazing. You're awesome. Hula dance. Okay, so we're going to go right along, guys, and we're going to need our hardback reader. Okay, so why don't you get your hardback reader out? I'm going to see if Kai's is down here because it's a little bit easier for me to see what you're seeing instead of using my manual. So our hardback reader right out here. We're going to be starting a brand new story called The Sign Maker's Assistant, but we're going to look at the vocabulary words real quick on page 122, okay? 122, 122. Okay? We're going to start with the number 1, assistant. And it looks like this guy is helping someone out. And the assistant is helping to put up the sign. When someone has an assistant, that means they have a helper. Okay, just like in school, whenever we have the helper of the day, they're kind of my assistant, right? They can run errands for me, they take things places, stuff like that. They're my helper. Okay, number 2, agreed. The people agreed that this road needed a stop sign. So when someone agrees, that means that they have the same ideas, okay? So if my favorite color is purple and your favorite color is purple, we agree that purple is a great color. So that means we have the same mindset. Number 3, polite. This sign reminds children to be polite or nice to others. So it says, please be quiet in the library. So polite means that you're doing the right thing, right? Saying please and thank you, or like it says, following signs, because that's being polite. If it tells you to be quiet, we should be real quiet, right? So if it tells you to stop, we should stop because that's being polite. It's following the rules. Okay, number 5. Tearing. The worker is tearing apart this old sign, and tearing is like ripping or pulling apart. Number 7, cleared. The crossing guard cleared the way so these children could cross. Cleared means that kind of make a clear path, make sure that nothing is in the way. Okay, they cleared it out, they emptied it. Number 4, failed. The sign failed to keep the dog off the grass. Because if you look at that picture, it says no pets allowed. And guess what's right next to it? A pet. So failed means when something went wrong. It didn't go the way as planned. Just like when they said no pets allowed, I don't think that, they meant for a pet to be there. So when something fails, which it does sometimes, that means it doesn't work out. Okay, number 6, wisdom. The words of wisdom on this billboard teach us to act the right way. Be safe, drive slowly. Wisdom, guys. Wisdom is stuff you get over time. It's like the smarts that you get, the knowledge that you receive over time. Become more wise because you've lived longer, you've had more experiences, and you know more stuff. Okay, so wisdom is what you know. Number 8, trouble. Without signs, drivers would have trouble knowing when to stop. Just think, guys, if there were no stop signs, there might be a lot of accidents, right? So we need signs to tell us where to go, how to get places, what to do. It keeps us safe, doesn't it? And it doesn't cause trouble. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and turn in our reading book on over. We're going to be talking all about signs this week, okay, and how they're important. So let's think about that for a second. Why do we need signs? Why can't we just go and do what we think is right? For one, I think a lot of people would probably get hurt if we don't have signs, right? we wouldn't know where to go if we're driving down the road, if we're looking for a certain street. We wanted to go to our friend's house and we know that they live on a certain street, but there's no street signs. How would we know that that's where it is? So signs are very helpful. It tells us where places are, tells us what places are. You know, you wouldn't want to go into the wrong place if you're wanting to go to the grocery store, right? So we're going to be learning about signs and this crafty little sign maker's assistant and the trouble that he causes. So also be on the lookout, guys, for pictures or illustrations that tell you information that the words may not. So we're going to look really hard at these pictures this time and see what clues and what things it tells us that's going on. Okay, so the sign maker's assistant. Guys, if you'll track along with me wearing your wonderful beach wear or your Hawaii wear and upload some pictures for me, that would be awesome. But I'm going to read this to you today, guys, and we're going to talk about it, okay? This is by Ted Arnold. So let's go ahead and flip the page. Tracking the print with me, please, with whatever you choose. Everyone in town agreed. The old sign maker did the finest work for miles around. Under his brush, ordinary letters became beautiful words. Words of wisdom, words of warning, or words that simply said which door to use. So we see that picture of the sign maker, right? With all of his paints and everything that he's creating these wonderful signs. When he painted stop, people stopped because the sign looked so important. When he painted, please keep off the grass, they kept off because the sign was polite and sensible. When he painted good food, they just naturally became hungry. People thanked the sign maker and paid him well. But the kind old man never failed to say, I couldn't have done it without Norman's help. So we see the sign maker and his little assistant, Norman, right? So people did what the signs said to do, right? Because they seemed logical and something that you should do. I'd like to see the good food sign too. That would make me hungry. Okay, let's turn the page. Norman was the sign maker's assistant. Each day after school, he cut wood, mixed colors, and painted simple signs. Soon I will have a shop of my own, said Norman. Perhaps, answered the sign maker, but not before you clean these brushes. One day after his work was done, Norman stood at the window over the sign shop and watched the people. They stopped at the stop sign. They entered at the enter sign. They ate under the good food sign. They do whatever the signs say, said Norman to himself. I wonder. He crept into the shop while the sign maker napped. With brush and board, he painted a sign of his own. I wonder what this sign is gonna be. Turn the page. Look at that sign, guys. What does it say? No school today. Early the next morning, he put up the sign, then ran back to his window to watch. No school, muttered the principal. How could I forget such a thing? So everybody was so confused, right? So, no one informed me, said the teacher. Hooray! Cheered the children and everyone went home. This is great, cried Norman. He looked around town for another idea. Oh, he said at last, there is something I have always wanted to do. I wonder what he's going to do. He already closed school and nobody asked any questions. The people of the town were so used to following the signs, they knew that the sign maker wouldn't try to deceive them because all the other signs made sense, right? So they were just confused thinking, well, maybe I missed something because we follow all the other signs. Why not this one? So they followed the no school today sign. So let's see what he wants to do. Look at that illustration, kiddos. Open for swimming. It looks like they're in the water fountain. Yeah. The following day, Norman jumped from the top of the fountain in the park. As he swam, he thought to himself, I can do lots of things with signs. Ideas filled his head. That afternoon, when Norman went to work, the sign maker said, I must drive to the next town and paint a large sign on a storefront. I'll return tomorrow evening, so please lock up the shop tonight. As soon as the sign maker was gone, Norman started making signs. He painted for hours and hours and hours. Okay, so he's already canceled school. He put open for swimming on the fountain in the park. Wonder what other mischief he's going to get into. Oh, let's look at these illustrations, guys, because these illustrations are not going to be in the words in the text, so we need to really look at them. Let's look at that first illustration. The bank is closed, and he put deposit money here in a trash can. People are actually putting their money in a trash can. He put a sign, eat your hat. Look at those hats. They have big bites out of them. People are actually eating their hat. Toy shop, buy Norman a present. People are following that. Look at this big illustration over here. All of these presents piling up for Norman. Everybody's following the signs because that's what they've always done. And they knew that the sign maker was supposed to be a great person who would do the right thing. So they're following this. They ate their hat. They put their money in a trash can instead of the bank. And they bought Norman a present. Poor people. All right, let's read on page 136. In the morning, people discovered new signs all around town. And what the signs they were. Let's turn the page. Look at that. It's a big delivery truck and it says stop ants crossing. And if you look really, really close, you can see those little dots for ants. Have you ever seen a stop for ants crossing? I have never seen that. Anyway, he's stopping. And look at this. Instead of the grocery market, it says garbage dump. And they're dumping all of their garbage on the grocery store. I don't think that grocery market owner looks too happy. He's like, no, what's going on? Everybody's confused. But they're following the signs. Would you follow those signs? Would you have eaten your hat? I don't think I would have eaten my hat. Next page, guys. Oh, no. Norman watched it all and laughed until tears came to his eyes. He was playing a trick, wasn't he? But soon he saw people becoming angry. The sign maker is playing tricks, they shouted. He has made fools of us. The teacher tore down the no school sign, the no school today sign. Suddenly, people were tearing down all the signs, not just the new ones, but every sign the sign maker had ever painted. So guys, this caused a huge problem. They didn't just tear down the silly signs, they tore down every sign because they thought that the sign maker couldn't be trusted. So look at that big heaping pile. Some of them are street signs and stop signs, not just silly signs. Look at that no more bath sign. That would be really stinky, wouldn't it? So they took down every sign because they didn't think that the sign maker could be trusted. Now we talked about what kind of trouble, it's one of our vocabulary words, the trouble it would cause if we didn't have signs. So let's see what starts to happen. Then the real trouble started. Without store signs, shoppers became confused. Without stop signs, drivers didn't know when to stop. Without street signs, firemen became lost. I guess they could follow the smoke on that, right? But it'd be kind of hard to know what street to go on, wouldn't it, without a street sign? So people were starting to become confused because they didn't have store signs. They didn't know where to go. They didn't know what was what anymore. Stop signs, drivers, I mean, it could be really dangerous. Let's see what happens. In the evening, when the sign maker returned from his work in the next town, he knew nothing of Norman's tricks. An angry crowd of people met him at the back door of his shop and chased him into the woods. Look at them. They're like, I'm going to get you. So they're chasing him with the eat your hat sign. So this guy is like, what is going on? So he's running away. And here's Norman. As Norman watched, he suddenly realized that without signs and without the sign maker, the town was in danger. It's all my fault, cried Norman. But no one was listening. They were too busy chasing the sign maker because they thought it was him that did it. Let's see what happens. Late that night, the sign maker returned and saw a light on in his shop. Norman was feverishly painting. Guys, feverishly, that's one of those strong words we talked about last week. It means he was painting frantically, like as fast as he could and as much as he could. Next page. While the town slept, the sign maker watched. Norman put up stop signs, shop signs, street signs, danger signs, and welcome signs, in and out signs, large and small signs, new and beautiful signs. He returned all his presents and cleared away the garbage at the grocery store. It was morning when he finished putting up his last sign for the entire town to see. Here's another one of those illustrations, guys. We have to look and see what the sign says. Don't blame the sign maker. I tricked you and I'm sorry. Norman. So it looks like he learned his lesson, right? So he went out and he put back all of the signs that were helpful. He didn't put up any more silly signs. He put back the signs that were needed, right? Let's turn the page. Then Norman packed his things and locked up the shop. But as he turned to go, he discovered the sign maker and all the townspeople gathered at the door. I know you're angry with me for what I did, said Norman with downcast eyes. So I'm leaving. Oh, we were angry, all right, answered the school principal. But we were also fools for obeying such signs without thinking. You told us you were sorry, said the sign maker, and you fixed your mistakes. So stay and work hard. One day, this shop may be yours. Perhaps, answered Norman, hugging the old man. But not before I finish cleaning those brushes. So guys, lots of lessons can be learned in this story, right? And we learned a powerful one here at the end because the principal said we were fools for following it. So guys, we've all been in situations where maybe our gut told us, this isn't right, I shouldn't do this. And you go along with it anyway, or you go along with it because everybody else is doing it. You need to really try to focus on and do what's right and do what you know is right and not just do it because everybody else is doing it. And I think Norman learns a pretty big lesson, right? One, you really shouldn't trick people, should you? Because bad things can come out of that, hurt feelings, people being upset. But he also learned a really good lesson that, guys, we all make mistakes. We all do things that we don't mean sometimes. But he fixed it, right? He tried and he did everything he could to make it right. So that's a big lesson that we can learn from Norman. So when we goof up and we do something that we don't mean, we can always make it right and say, I'm sorry. So these are really good lessons for that. And we had some really good illustrations today, didn't we? Well, guys, that's the end of our lessons today. I hope that I see some more pictures of you guys this week in your hula Hawaii wear. And tomorrow, I think it might be Disney Day, but I will make sure that I find out, and I will put it on our Remind app, and check out Facebook too to see what tomorrow's Spirit Day is for Brushwork. And guys, I love you and I miss you so, so much, and I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Mwah. Bye.